And we are back with the second game of the day here on GBA TV. It's Jeremy Scott. I am joined by Spencer Giese over here. Spencer, good to have you aboard for this broadcast between the KY Premier and the OLH Impact. The ball is up, and it is going to be going towards the end line there, but it's actually taken by, well, let's see here. What are they going to say? Okay, they're going to say that that is going to remain KY's ball. So it's KY who will control this, and that is inbounded, and that is Dye. And that is Dye who gives it off, and then that's stolen away by the Impact. All right, so that is number 12, Whitney, bringing the ball up the floor for the Impact. She drives it up, and she lays it up. That's no good, and there is a foul called. And that foul is on number 13. That is on Jordy McDonald. That is her first. Obviously, the team's first as well. And so, with that being the case, number 6, Blossom, will step to the line, and she will shoot a pair. First shot up, it is short. No good. You know, these tournaments, Spencer, they're kind of like speed dating. It's like you just got here to the table, and so you're just kind of writing everything down as well.
And these are both really, top-level teams that are coming out this weekend to get an early tournament in. Here with GBA, Kentucky Premier. I mean, they've got a couple-hour drive here, and this Ohio Lady Hoopsters Impact team. It's kind of a collaboration between two clubs that have really come together to put together some top talent in Columbus. It's going to be a really exciting game to watch.
Absolutely. And it's impact ball once again, as there's a shot that is up. That's no good. That was Ariane on the shot, and that's taken by Premier. Premier driving the ball back down the floor. Underneath the hoop it comes, and there's a foul. And that foul is going to be on the Impact. And that is on number 0, Ariane. And so stepping up to the line for Premier will be number 12, and number 12 is Sophie Barnes. Sophie Barnes stepping up to the line for Premier. Scoreless here in the early going, 0-0.
And if you're tuning in today, you're going to see two really high-level fifth-grade girls teams. You might think there's a sixth graders, but no, folks, these are fifth-grade teams. So you can see they've been putting in time and effort to improve their games for years before getting to this stage. As
Barnes knocks down a pair of free throws to make the score 2-0, so Premier leads it early on.
We've got a diamond press here.
And Ariane has it stolen away. That's going to be a steal by number 3, Dye. Dye on the steal, cross-court pass. And she gives it off to 2, French. French on the drive, the lay-in is up and no good. That's rebounded by Blossom. Blossom on the outlet pass, driving the ball down the floor. That's Ariane. Ariane with a layup, that is up and that is good.
Nice left-hand finish.
So 2-2 is the score here in the early part of this ball game. Jeremy Scott alongside Spencer Giese here at court number 1, and there's a long shot. That is up and that is good.
That's from way downtown.
That's Jalen Dye on that 3-point opportunity to make the score 5-2. Ariane bringing the ball back down the floor for the Impact. That shot is up and that is long, and that's going to go out of bounds.
Stay underneath.
Off of the Premier. There's the inbounds pass. That's stolen away by the Premier. So Premier have it now. Pushing the ball down the floor and then almost having it taken away. They do have it taken away.
Deflected
that is number
Stafford.
6, Blossom on the steal. And pushing it back down, laying it up. That's no good on by Ariane. And there's a foul.
Backcourt.
And that foul will be on Sequoia. I do believe they signaled number 9. And so.
Seeing a matchup full court press here.
Early going for the press.
Absolutely.
And there's a steal.
I don't think you'll see both these teams running a press most of this game. Stafford with a distance pull-up, gets on board.
And Whitney's shot, she's able to follow her own shot, and that second opportunity, no good. And then it's stolen away again. That is number 6, Blossom, and Blossom on the drive is going to get fouled. And that foul on number 3, Dye. So Jalen Dye picks up the foul, and it will be number 6, Blossom, who missed on 2 early free throws, getting another chance at the charity stripe. Tell you what, that kind of size is tough to defend.
It is, and this kind of up and down pace. If you can stay in the game, engage in the game, it's a big in this type of pace. You're doing really well for yourself. But got to get those legs on those free throws.
Blossom is 0 for 3 so far. The second shot is up, and she
we
did
go.
it there. She must have heard you.
She must have heard me.
The score is 5 to 3.
Here we go.
And pushing the ball down the floor, that is Combs. Combs gives it off to Dye. Out of bounds it goes, and
good pressure there.
they are going to say it will remain Premier's ball.
And those of you tuning in, we've got some pretty light three-point lines on the floor. We can see them, but it might not be shown up on camera. But they are there. Don't worry. If they shoot it from downtown, they will get 3 points.
Inbounds it comes to Dye, playing the point. Dye gives it off on the baseline. That is number 12, Barnes.
Nice take.
Shot is good.
Baseline drive and uses the backboard.
7-3 the score.
Looking to push again.
And that's Blossom underneath.
Good.
She gives it off. That's
Good
a shot
jump
that's
off.
up, and that is good.
Way to be a
Sequoia for
teammate.
2. 7-5 the score. And there's a loose ball out of bounds, and are they going to say she dribbled it off her foot?
Yep, that pressure caused another turnover.
All right. So it will remain on this end. Impact down 2. They have a chance to tie or take the lead here in the first half. Inbounds it comes, and
Just
that is
gets it in before a 5-second count.
Ariane. And they're not going to call a charge. I'll tell you what, there was a clamor there for a charge, but not calling it, and there's a pass that's stolen underneath. And in traffic, that pass went, and it was taken by number 3, Dye, and it will remain Impact ball.
Yep. Here comes the press again.
It'll be French to inbound it. And she does to Dye.
There we go.
And that's back to French, who gets it across the timeline. French is going to take it
look
coast to
off.
coast, lay it up, and that is no good. And that is rebounded by the Impact. So I'll tell you, they had another opportunity. They put it up, and that's Premier. I'm sorry. And out of bounds it goes, and it's going to go off of Premier because obviously nobody was able to get a paw on it off of that rebound opportunity. So it will go back to the Impact. So I'll tell you what, that was a pretty exciting coast-to-coast drive there. Just weren't able to convert.
Great look off, just could not finish.
It's Ariane. Gives it off underneath. Puts a shot up. That is up. That's no good. That's rebounded by number 6, Blossom.
Blossom draws another foul.
I tell you what. And checking into the ball game for the Premier will be T. Yeast. Yeast in and Dye out. So the Impact to inbound. Inbounds it comes. That is Blossom. Up top it goes. That is to Whitney. Whitney outside up top to Kimmy. Kimmy going to give it off. And that's a shot that's up, and that is no good. Rebounded by number 13, McDonald. Jordy McDonald on the rebound, and she is fouled in the backcourt.
Almost lost the ref there.
You know, you weren't lying about a fast-paced and really high impact and just intense game. I mean, this is 5th grade basketball, but this is 5th grade basketball on steroids.
It is.
On the drive, that is up, and that is and one. That is Hadley French on the drive. She puts the ball up, gets fouled on her way up, makes the bucket, and now French will step to the foul line, and she will have an opportunity to make this a 3-point possession. Into the game for the Impact. Number 1, Mia. I'm sorry, you've got 2 Mias there. Number 1 and number 5. We were given first names by the scorers table here for the Impact.
It was a popular name 12 years ago.
It sure was. As French converts on the foul shot to make the score 10-5. That's
Good
Whitney.
Pick. Nice switch on that. The dump down.
Low post shot, that is up, and that is no good.
Good look.
And that is an offensive rebound by Mia. There's a shot that's up, and that is good. Ariane for 2 to make the score 10-7. Premier lead to 3. Splitting that double team. Very nice job by French there, and she gives it off to McDonald. McDonald has it stolen away. That's a steal. And on the other end, bringing the ball back down the floor, putting it up and putting it in there.
I gotta say, that was a lot of heart and hustle to get after that basketball.
And so the score, 10-9. It's a 1-point advantage for the Premier. Underneath, shot up, that's no good. McDonald on the rebound, that's no good. That's taken by the Impact. Impact have a chance to take the lead.
Rebound by Stafford, brings it up. Nice outlet down.
Puts it up, and she's going to draw the foul. That is Ariane, who has 4 points here so far. And now Ariane will have a chance to add to that total.
We've got to have at least 5 team fouls at this point on Premier.
Scrappy ball game here in the first half between these two fine ball clubs. Ariane's first shot is up and it rims out, no good. And checking back into the ball game for the Premier is Dye. And sitting, I do believe that was Sophie Barnes. So, free throw 2 of 2 goes in, and now it is a tie ball game, 10-10 the score.
Wow, we've got 4 players in the front court on this press. If they can get it past half court, they've got 2 points.
And they do, and there is pump fake and up, and she will step to the line. That's Haley Combs, who we haven't heard from so far today, but now Combs will have a chance to add her name to the scorer's book. Haley Combs up to the line, and she will shoot 2. We're at a little under 7 minutes to play, 6:53 to go here in the first half, as Combs' first shot is long off the back of the iron and no good.
Looks like Ariane just picked up her second foul on that possession. That could really change the pace of the game for the Impact.
Combs on the second foul shot. That is up, and that rims out. So 0 for 2 at that trip to the line, but offensive rebound, but then it's taken away. Back come the Premier on the other end, I'm sorry, the Impact on the other end, and it's going to go out of bounds off of the Premier.
Yeah,
so
we've got Impact setting up a sideline play. Curious to see what this set looks like. Oh, home run play, not there.
And it's stolen away on the inbounds pass, and that was Dye on the steal, but they're going to whistle it dead.
It's a narrow sideline over there.
Impact gets another shot at this. And inbounds it comes, and then there's an errant pass. Wasn't quite able to get it into Sequoia. And so it's going to be Premier ball. And getting fouled is Combs. And that was number 9, Sequoia, on that foul. So 10-10 the score. And we're trying to get the team foul situation here. We'll have that for you here in a minute. So far, though, it's Haley Combs at the line. Shoot a foul shot, and that is no good on that 1-and-1. So Haley Combs 0 for 3 from the line here today.
Stafford sets up the offense, drives to the right side, pull up 3.
Whitney shot no good, and that's out of bounds, and nobody touched it, so we'll go back to Premier. And it is Impact's ball here as they will inbound it. And that is number 9, Sequoia. Sequoia underneath, that is up, that's no good. And that's taken by Premier. Hadley French drive the ball back down the floor. French 1-on-2, she puts it up and she is fouled.
Draws the foul. That's going to be the 8th team foul on Impact already early in this first half.
Boy, I'll tell you what, this is one of the scrappiest 5th grade games I think I've ever seen.
Well, a lot of talent on the court. It's going to make it a physical game very fast. And when both teams are pressing, there's just a lot more hands-on people, hands-on the basketball.
So Hadley French at the line.
I've been very impressed by French so far.
Front end of the 1-and-1, good. Makes the score 11-10.
Great floor general, looks for her teammates, but not afraid to drive it in herself. And drawing fouls left and right on her possessions.
So Hadley French, second shot up. It is long off the back of the iron. That is no good, taken by the Impact. Back come the Impact on offense. Driving the ball back down the floor, putting the shot up. That is no good. It's rebounded, and that is no good by Sequoia, but Sequoia will go to the line to shoot 2.
That's a foul on Hadley French right there. That's a great time to just play straight up and not slap at it.
So Sequoia, this is her first trip to the line here today. She does have 2 points.
And that is Premier's 6th-team foul, so you'll see both teams shooting every foul moving forward.
Sequoia's first shot is up, and it swishes home. Good to tie the ball game up 11-11. Second shot up, and that is a miss. No good.
It's going to stay, though.
Yes.
That Impact running underneath play.
And that will be Whitney to inbound.
Oh, right there. Post is wide open.
And that
Feeds.
is in and spinning off the pivot. That is no good. Well, she had a good look at it, but
Sure
not quite able to convert it was Blossom. And so back come the Premier on offense. Driving the ball down the floor. That's French. French on the drive. That is up. That's no good. And that is going to be a loose ball situation. And the tie-up, the possession arrow favors. Who does that jump ball favor? They're trying to sort that out right now. Trying to get the, okay, it will go ahead and the Impact will get this ball off of that possession arrow. And that is Whitney. Whitney in the corner. She's going to attempt a shot. That's short, and I do believe somebody got a piece of that.
And she got outlet down the floor again. Oh.
And there's another foul. That foul is going to be on number 8, I do believe. Did they say number 8?
Ref, what's the number, ref?
Number 8's not even out there on the floor, I don't believe.
9.
It was on 9. Okay, that's Sequoia.
Yep. And we're back at the line.
Yep.
Impact's 9th foul on number 9.
And that will be Jordy McDonald to shoot. McDonald, first shot up, and that banks home. Good. Jordy McDonald's first point of the morning. I think it's still morning, not quite afternoon yet. Yep, 11:23 a.m. according to this clock.
We've still got 37 more minutes of morning. Let's enjoy them.
Second shot up, and that is no good. Long, and so McDonald goes 1 for 2 on that 1-and-1. And back comes Impact on offense. That shot up, that shot no good. Rebounded by Blossom. That shot is no good. Another offensive rebound. That is up, and that is good.
Impact pulls ahead after clawing back the entire first half at this point.
That was Blossom.
Nice outlet. You got a 3-on-2 break here.
On the other end. Outside shot. That is up, and that goes in. 3 for number 3. Jalen Dye with her second three-pointer of the morning to make the score 15-13. Timeout on the floor, and we have 5:18 to go here in this first half. Back after this timeout. The teams break their respective huddles. 15-13 is the score with 5:18 to go here in the first half. And I tell you what, this has been one scrappy, one physical ball game, but hey, nothing wrong with some good basketball to watch here early on in this tournament. It's GBA TV. Big shout out to Jeff Ferguson, Caleb Graham, Tom Strasser, everybody helping to make this happen on the administrative end of things. As they're sorting some things out here at the scorers table.
Checking to make sure we've got the official score correct, which is always helpful to do in the first half.
Better to catch it now than an hour from now. All right, so
2-2-1 press here set up by Premier.
And they beat the press, get it across the timeline. Impact on offense. There's a pass underneath. That is taken. That is a shot that is up, and that goes in.
Tie game.
15-15 on the inbounds, and that's stolen away. Another steal on the part of the Impact. And underneath, that shot is up, and that is no good. And was that, nope, that whistle was not on this end. There are multiple courts here, so sometimes you hear a whistle and you think it's in your game, and it's not. But it will go out of bounds off of the Premier, and so it will be Impact ball in this tie ball game. Inbounds it comes. That is over to number 6, Blossom. That shot is up. That's no good. That's rebounded, and that is also no good off the offensive shot. Here come the Premier on offense now. Pushing the ball up the floor. Underneath it comes. One-on-one. That shot is up. That's no good. It rebounded by Impact. Kimmy on that rebound. Kimmy gives it off to Blossom. Blossom passes it off underneath, and there is number 2, Nope, that's number 12, Whitney, I'm sorry. And she brings it back outside to reset everything. Whitney spins, Whitney drives, Whitney with the layup. That shot is up, that's no good. And that is rebounded by the Premier. That is number 3, Dye. Gives it off to McDonald. McDonald, bounce pass underneath, that's a block. Nice block there on the part of Blossom. However, it will be, oh my gosh, there's a travel at half court. She got a hold of that ball, and she thought about passing. It was kind of paralysis by analysis.
She had a gal wide open underneath. I could see what she was looking at. It's just hard to make that decision when you're still a young basketball player.
And so we'll go back to Premier here in the first half. The score 15-15. What a game we have witnessed here so far. That'll be T. Yeast to inbound, and she does to French. French gets the call from the sideline. She'll play the point, and she'll be met by number 5, Mia.
Nice little 5-out offense set here by Premier.
That is number 12, Barnes. Barnes with a shot. That's up. That's no good. Rebounded by McDonald. And there's a jump ball situation, and
it's white ball.
It will remain on this end. So the possession arrow favors Kentucky Premier. Inbounding it will be Barnes.
Open shot.
There's a three-pointer. That is long off the back of the iron. That is taken by Blossom. Blossom on the rebound. Blossom pushing the ball back down the floor. It's a one-on-two situation. She splits the double team. Had a nice look at a lay-in. No good, though. Outlet pass. There is number 12, Barnes.
There's the hustle.
Barnes driving it down the floor. Puts it up and in.
You know, that's a 4-point swing right there. I tell you what, if Blossom finishes out with her left hand, fundamentally sound, I think that's 2 points for him. Instead, it's 2 points the other way.
So 17-15, Premier back on top. That is Whitney controlling it. She's guarded by Yeast. Underneath it comes to Blossom. Blossom's shot is up, and that is no good. Out of bounds it goes, and they're going to say it's going to go off of impact, so Kentucky Premier gets the ball back. 17-15. And to inbound it will be Dye. French pushing the ball past the timeline. French going to try to give it off and have it stolen away, and that is a steal indeed. And then Premier gets the ball back.
Over.
And
turn right back over.
And here it goes back to impact. A lot of defense going on here in this sequence. Whitney pushing the ball down the floor. Whitney has the ball poked out of bounds from behind. And so Whitney will be, well, it won't be Whitney inbounding it, but it will be impact ball. Mia's looking for somebody to pass it to, and there's a timeout called on the floor.
Coach got the timeout in right before that 5-second call, so.
And so
our referee on the far side calls that, comes over, corrects the call, and we're going to take a break.
17-15 the score, 2:52 to go here in this exciting first half. 17-15 the score. We'll be back with more. We rejoin the action. That'll be Mia inbounding it for the impact. And inbounds it to Whitney.
Whitney Stafford for three.
No good. And then
gets
Whitney
her
gets
board
her
again.
own rebound. Second shot opportunity. That's up. That's no good. Rebounded by McDonald. And
easy steal right there for two.
Yeah. Nice steal there by Mia to put the ball up and in. 17-17. It's a tie ball game once again. And back on the Premier.
Cheap foul up from the front court by Whitney Stafford. That's going to be the 10th team foul on impact, and that's going to send French to the line, shooting two in double bonus.
All right. So, a lot of action here in the first half. Lots and lots of action between these two ball clubs that, tell you what, fifth grade basketball, this is high quality right here. That shot is up, and that is no good. Off to the side it goes. And that is number 2, French, who will be attempting a second free throw here 17-17 the score. As Stafford comes over to the impact sideline to get a few instructions. That second shot is up, and that goes in. So Hadley French 1 for 2 from the foul line to make it an 18-17 ball game. On the other end, that's Kimmy. Kimmy underneath. Kimmy so far scoreless. She gives it off to Blossom. Blossom in the corner is fouled.
Blossom's going to go to the line shooting 1-1. That is the 7th team foul.
And that is Jalen Dye on the foul. Okay.
Well, I'm not the referee, so I'm just a licensed one. Don't worry about it.
That's here. And there's a shot. That's up. That's no good. Taken by Blossom. Second shot
don't
opportunity.
lie, I suppose.
19-18. And steal off the press. Underneath the hoop it goes, and putting it up, and that is no good. And that is taken by Dye. I tell you, they had another opportunity there. Did the impact, but not quite able to do anything with it. And
I'll tell you what, with that being the 11th team foul on impact, they've got to have some players starting to get in foul trouble. We will update you on player fouls at halftime.
absolutely. And so Jalen Dye steps to the foul line for this 2-shot opportunity. First shot up, no good. Dye has 6 points here so far. She has 2 3-pointers. This is her first trip to the line. As checking out of the ball game for the impact is Whitney, and checking in is Mia. Dye at the line. Missed her first shot. Second shot is going to rattle out of there. So 0 for 2 goes Dye at the line. And there's another foul. This foul on Premier. And that foul on number 12, Barnes. And it'll be Blossom for a 1-and-1 opportunity. Blossom is 1 for 4 from the foul line so far here this morning.
Just one, yeah.
So Blossom with her practice dribbles. Let's see if she uses the knees as she was instructed to do last time. She did, and that ball fell. She must have heard you from afar.
I do free throw lessons while announcing games all the time.
Blossom's second shot goes up and is short, and rebounded by Yeast. That's T. Yeast on the rebound.
Oh.
And
I
there's
will tell you, that motor on Blossom to miss the free throw, to get back, to deflect the pass out of bounds, to let her defense set up, pretty outstanding. And you'll see her, they've had her guarding guards for a high percentage of this first half.
and that's always going to create a mismatch.
Ooh.
And are they going to say she stepped out of bounds?
They're going to say she stepped out of bounds.
That's Hadley French with the ball handling mishap there, and so back it comes to the impact.
Impact with a 2-point lead here late first half.
And that is Kimmy playing the point, bringing the ball up the floor, met by Yeast. Kimmy, pass underneath the Blossom. Blossom backs in there, puts it up, that's no good, gets her own shot, and she has it knocked away. And there's another opportunity. That one did not go in either. However, the impact maintained control. That is Kimmy back at the point. Kimmy with some fancy footwork, some fancy dribbling. She gives it off. And that is number 10, Kennedy. Kennedy is going to be fouled, and Kennedy is going to go to the line, and Kennedy is going to shoot foul shots. And which team foul is that? Is that the 7th? Okay, so this is a 1-and-1. We're still at the 1-and-1.
That was a shooting foul show up to here.
Okay, she did shoot. All right. And that one, no good. So Kennedy, who has 4 points here, this is her first trip to the line, misses on the first opportunity. Second shot is up. That one falls for her. 21-18 the score. The impact on top of the Premier.
Still a one-possession game here.
And we're at 1:18 to go here in the first half.
Oh, nice dump
There's a
off.
pass off to McDonald.
the
She
wing.
gives it off. That's a shot that's up, and it is no good. Shot there. Good look by Barnes, just wasn't able to convert. And back comes the impact on offense.
Oh.
And there's a foul in the backcourt. That foul is going to be a number 3, Dye. And she fouled number 8, Kimmy. So Kimmy is going to go to the free throw line for an opportunity to get into the scorebooks for the first time today. Kimmy scoreless so far.
This will be a 1-on-1. And it's hard to body up a guard and defend them full court in front of a referee like that and have that much contact. So I can tell their coach is a little frustrated with that call, but hard to do that right in front of a referee.
First shot is up, and it is no good. Front end of the one-on-one misses, but Kimmy is able to get the ball back, and then there's an errant pass. And I tell you, she was looking for Mia there, and it was just a little too tall for her. So back it comes to Premier with a little over a minute to play here in this first half. Pushing the ball down the floor, that is French. French into the lane she goes, wide open look. She puts it in there, Hadley French 4-2 to make the score 21-20. Impact on top by 1.
Impact had bottled French up offensively for a few minutes there, but got back on the board. Good for her.
Whitney at the top. Whitney's going to bring it outside, then drive it baseline. Whitney pass it back outside to Kimmy. Kimmy guarded by French. Outside to Mia. Mia at the elbow. She gives it off, and back outside it comes. Impact doing a good job of playing takeaway here.
Oh.
And as soon as I say that, they get the ball taken away from them. That's Dye, 1-on-2 situation. Dye pushing it down the floor, putting it up.
Defense for 2.
In there, 22-21.
Impressive drive to take the lead.
On the other end.
Oh.
That was Whitney on the drive, and are they going to say it went off of her? Nope, they're going to say, yes, they are going to say it was off of Whitney.
Now Whitney Stafford just lost that ball at the last minute before being able to put it up for a layup.
And
looks like we've got a timeout on the floor.
I think there's an injury timeout on the floor, as a matter of fact. It looked like Dye came over to the bench, and she was favoring something. So with that being the case, we're at 22-21 with 3 seconds to play here in the first half. And at 22-21, okay, we don't have locker rooms, but for all intents and purposes, let's just say that we do have locker rooms. So what are you telling your teams in the locker room, especially with all this foul trouble as we head into the second half?
You know, players need to adjust to the refereeing of the game. So here, if you're going to continue to press as a team strategy, you've got to get your hands off while you're pressing. Use your hands up and you move your feet on defense. Ultimately, I think both teams need to identify where their presses are being successful, where they're not, and what adjustment they can make to that pressure in the second half.
Well, I can tell you that these coaches are very into this ball game as well. I mean, you talk about these teams being a reflection of their coaches, a lot of intensity on these sidelines.
Certainly. 3 seconds to go. We've got a full court look.
And there's an outlet that is stolen away. That's a steal by Mia with an opportunity does not fall for Mia, and that will do it for the first half. Exciting one at that. 22-21 is your score, and we will be back with the second half of play right here on GBA TV.
Strasser from GBA TV studios at the 14th annual Celtic Classic here at Dublin Jerome, and you're watching GBA TV on Facebook and YouTube, where you are watching over 20 hours of live streaming games as well as interviews from players and coaches here at the Celtic Classic.
Jeremy Scott, Spencer Giese back here at Dublin Jerome High School.
Got a 1-point game right now for Kentucky Premier.
As we have started the second half, and there was a shot by Ariane to begin the second half that was up and no good. And back come the impact on offense.
Nice steal by Whitney Stafford.
And that's Ariane who has it. And she gives it up. That is Combs on the steal.
Ooh.
And they can say Combs stepped out of bounds. Nope, they're going to call a double dribble.
That's a nice call right there, right in front of us. We had a front row seat, and that is correct.
So it will be Ariane to inbound it here. And playing the point, bringing the ball up the floor for impact. That is number 12, Whitney. Whitney Stafford, as we learned her last name is. Over it comes to Ariane. Ariane at the elbow, puts a shot up. That is up, that is no good. And it's taken by Premier. Jordy McDonald pushing the ball, gets it across the timeline, and there's an errant pass, and out of bounds it goes.
Nope.
No, it does not go out of bounds. I heard a whistle. I couldn't tell.
The beauty of the wide courts here. There's many gyms where that would have been out of bounds, but there's enough space to track that one down here at Dublin Jerome on court 1.
That will be Sophie Barnes stepping to the line after that shooting opportunity. And the first shot is up for Barnes, and it is no good. Sophie Barnes, that is her first miss from the charity stripe here so far. She is now 2 for 3. Barnes with a second shot, and that falls. So Sophie Barnes makes it a 23-21 game. The Premier up by 2. As Ariane playing the point, gets an instruction from the sideline, and she is met by Dye. There's a bounce pass underneath, and that is to Blossom, who passed it outside. There's a three-point look. That is up, and it falls. And by the way, those are the first 3 points for Whitney here so far today, 24-23.
Finally got the lid off the hoop for her. You know, with a scorer like Whitney, you see one go through. Who knows what could happen these next few minutes?
And inbounds it comes. They finally get Dye. They beat the press. Dye pushing the ball down the floor with the left hand. That is up, and that is no good. And Dye gets her own rebound, and Dye passes it outside. That's to French. French with a look. That's up, and that's no good. And that's going to go out of bounds, and that will be remaining on this end. No, it will not be remaining on this end. I thought they pointed that way, but they didn't. It will be Impact who gets the ball back. So Impact with the ball and the lead by 1. 24-23 is the score. And that is Whitney Stafford playing it. She gives it inside. That is to Blossom. Blossom with the right hand. That's up, and Blossom gets fouled on her way up. And so Blossom, who is 2 for 6 from the line, which by my great radio math, or GBA TV math in this case, equates to 33%.
I'll give her 33.3% on that one.
Steps to the line. First shot up. Bounces in there. 25-23 now the score.
The real question is, do you want to do the math for 3 for 7? Because I do not.
Gosh. 42%-ish? Sure.
Let's just have her make this one. It'll make it easy.
Yep.
Ah, nuts.
Well, 3 for 8. That makes it 37.5%.
Other duties is assigned here, folks. We're doing math and announcing basketball games. My favorite. That is the second team foul on Impact in this second half.
So back to the action. That is Haley Combs, guarded by Ariane. No, I'm sorry, that's Kennedy. And there's a drive. That's a nice looking drive with the lay-in by French. Good. And that ties the ball game, 25-25.
She's a fun player to watch out here this morning.
She's got 9 so far.
And we've still got 13 minutes left of morning, so.
Over it comes to Whitney. That is outside to Ariane. Ariane, inside it comes to Blossom. Blossom with a shot. That's up. That's no good. That's rebounded by French. French has it. French past the timeline. French drives it herself, puts it up and in. Hadley French now in double digits, 27-25. Her Premier on top of the Impact. 3-point shot on the other end. That's up. That's no good for Stafford. And underneath, second shot opportunity. That is up, and that is good.
It is very clear that the halftime plan for Impact was get the ball to Blossom in the post. She's been active and getting a lot of touches each possession here so far in the second half. And we're out of bounds. It's going to be Impact ball coming. We've got subs in.
And that sub for the Impact will be Mia. And checking out will be, let's get a number here, number 10. That's Kennedy. So Mia in, Kennedy out. The score 27-27, Impact with the ball. Stafford gives it up top. There's a three-point look. That's up, and that is not going to fall. Offensive rebound is good. That is Blossom, who did that just for the second time this half, 29-27.
Gets her team back in the lead with 2 points. Coast to coast. Oh.
No good for Combs. And that's rebounded by Stafford.
This might be the coach in me, but I've got to see more players shoot with their left hand on the left side. That was an easy left-hand layup, but very difficult when you shoot with your right.
And that is Kimmy off that offensive rebound. She gives it inside to Blossom. Blossom gives it over to Ariane. Ariane in the low post. Ariane with a look. That is up and good.
Tough. Through 2 people with that shot. Nice high-low look with Ariane and Blossom.
31-27, Impact with a 4-point advantage here over the Premier. Beating the press, our Premier. It's Barnes. No good.
Well, and they just put the double team out there, and they're trying to get it in someone else's hands.
Ariane on the drive. That's up. That's no good, and that's taken by McDonald. Not a very good look there for Ariane. And there's a loose ball situation. A few players hit the deck. It's coming back the other way, though. That is to the Premier. That shot is up. That's no good. Offensive rebound. That is no good off that shot. Blossom with it, and they're going to say that she's
got to carry. Got that dribble just a little too high.
And so it remains Kentucky Premier's ball. Inbounds it comes. That's Combs. Gives it over to Yeast. Yeast with a three-point look, and that is going to be short and out of bounds and off of the Premier. Back it comes to the Impact. Wide open look there for Yeast.
It was, but you know what? We've got to remember it's 5th grade basketball, and while the game's evolved and a lot of players are shooting from range at younger ages, that's still a difficult shot for a 5th grader.
Absolutely. Stafford looking underneath. What a nice looking pass.
Blossom was fronted there. They'll throw it over the top.
And that is good off the second shot opportunity. What a good play there by Mia to make the score 33-27. And there's that press again. And beating the press is the Premier. And they get it across, and there's a foul on the floor. I do believe that foul is going to be on Ariane. Remains on this end.
Yeah, I think you can see 2 really key points that Impact once talked about at halftime. Let's get the ball into Blossom, and then they are doubling on Premier's top player all the time. Anytime she touches the ball, anytime Hadley French has it, she's getting double teamed, forcing it out of her hand, and allowing open shots other places.
And by the way, speaking of Blossom, she just checked out. Ariane, no, I'm sorry, that was Sequoia who just checked in.
Uh-oh. Looks like we've got a 5-foul situation on a player.
And if that's Ariane, I do believe it is, because she just did pick up her 5th foul. You know, there's a little bit of a dispute over this, but it's looking like Ariane just fouled out of the ball game.
That is going to be a game changer for Impact moving forward.
Indeed. And Kennedy comes back in. And there's a little bit of a debate over here about timeout situations, foul situations.
Here's a key component. You're at a GBA tournament or you're at any tournament in the spring. Home book is the official book, so it's very important that both home and visitors are keeping book together, making sure that they've got everything matching, because home book is official book. You've got 5 fouls on a player in the home book, they've got 5 fouls.
You know,
play on, time for Impact to dig in with a new rotation of 5 out there.
So inbounds it comes underneath the hoop. That's McDonald with a nice look at it, and Jordy McDonald is going to go to the line where she is 1 for 2 this morning, and she is going to shoot 2 off of that foul.
And Impact's already committed 14 fouls here in the early goings to the second half. It's easy to see how a player could foul out this early in a game based on how many team fouls they had in the first half and already how quickly they're fouling in the second.
McDonald's first shot around the world and out. No good. And there's still some talk over here at the scorer's table.
Highly contentious game, 2 top teams. It's difficult.
Well,
things we need to remind ourselves, it is just a game. It's competitive, but it is just a game.
And that is Jordy McDonald, who goes 1 for 2 at that trip to the line. to put her Premier down now by 5. It was 33-27, makes it 33-28. Stafford with a long look, and that falls.
Second three of the half for Stafford. She's heating up.
36-28. As Combs has it onto the sideline. There's a tie-up, and there's a carry. And that's going to be a carry on French. So the Impact will get the ball back now, and they will have a chance to pad this lead a little bit more. They're up by 8. As Stafford will play the point. Gives it over to Sequoia. Inside it comes. They were looking for a pass there, but kind of a ill-advised pass, and out of bounds it goes, and it goes back to the Premier. Press. That's Combs, who has the responsibility of beating that press, and she does.
The dribble. Oh my goodness.
Boy, what a
gracious.
nice job by Haley Combs. And inside to McDonald. Jordy McDonald gets her own shot, and she is going to go back to the line. Jordy McDonald, who just went 1 for 2 from the charity stripe, is going to go back there with an opportunity to put more points on the board.
If you think dribbling through a trap is difficult, try dribbling through a trap next to a folding table.
McDonald. Shot is no good. So she is 2 for 4, which, hey, that's 50%.
Sure is. Impact already with 5 fouls this half.
I got 3 on 12.
McDonald. That is her 3rd point of the ball game, and all 3 of those points have indeed come from the free throw line. 36-29 the score. Stafford playing the point. She is guarded by Barnes. Stafford in the short corner. Going to dribble it back outside. She's going to take a shot from that point. Banks it home.
Oh, my word.
Stafford has 9 points, all of which have come from 3-pointers, and it is now a double-digit lead, 39-29, the Impact on top.
And the three-point shot has changed this game for the Impact. All of a sudden, you've got a 10-point lead, 9 of that coming off threes. It's a game changer when you're in 5th grade.
There's
the
another,
answer?
No good. And it is rebounded on the offensive side by McDonald. Then it's taken away off of the pass, and that is Kennedy on that steal. Kennedy is going to take a shot on the drive. That is up, and that is no good. That's rebounded by French. French has it, pushing the ball down the floor now
3-on-2
for Premier, and that is Combs. Combs is going to
great
dribble it
recovery by
outside.
Impact.
Reset everything. Long shot look for French. That is no good, and that is rebounded by Mia. And back comes Impact now on offense.
You're starting to see Kentucky Premier press a little bit, seeing that lead of 10 points. You've got to take this possession by possession. There's no 10-point shot out there.
And that is Stafford. And there's a shot, and that is up, and it does not bounce home. Hit everything but the net there for Mia. And then she gets her rebound, but gives it off to Stafford, and Stafford on the drive is going to be fouled. So Whitney Stafford, who has 9 points, all of which have come from 3-pointers, is going to get a chance to add to her scoring from the foul line.
Yeah. This could be tough. It is inside the 3-point arc.
So Stafford with the first shot, no good.
That was not an attempted announcer jinx. We'll hope that she does well on the second free throw.
Well, just tell her to bend the knees. That seemed
That's
to work
right.
on the other end.
Or, in her case, back up 5 feet.
Unfortunately for her, that will only count as 1.
There's
that
her
one
stroke.
goes home
Gets the double digits for the game.
to make the score 40-29.
We've got a 1-3 deep one press here run by the Impact. They've got 4 in the front court again, and they've got 1 girl way deep protecting the basket.
And they're going to give number 6 Blossom a chance to check back into this ball game. And
give Whitney Stafford a breather.
And it comes actually back to this end of the floor. So I didn't see what happened. I didn't see why.
Turnover in the front court on that last press attempt by Impact.
Well, I would say that press worked then. As Mia has it. Gives it off to the recently checked back into the ball game, Blossom. Blossom into the paint, puts it up, and on the hook shot, gets fouled. And that foul on number 13, Jordy McDonald.
That's going to be Kentucky's 3rd foul of the second half.
Three of 8 from the line so far for Blossom. First shot, no good. And so Blossom, after that long period of respite. Gets her second shot to fall. 41-29 the score. Impact by a dozen. There's that press. They're looking to beat that press, and they are not able to because there's a steal. That's stolen away by Impact. And that is Mia. Mia, who hasn't touched the scoreboard yet, gives it off, gets the rebound, and now she has. So Mia, with 2, makes it a 43-29 ball game. And there's a timeout on the floor. And with that timeout, we are at 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go here in the second half. And we'll be back with more right here on GBA TV. Back with the action here at Dublin Jerome High School. It's Jeremy Scott and Spencer Giese. 43-29, the Impact on top of the Premier. Premier with the ball. There's a steal. Nope, it's going to go out of bounds and off of Impact.
Kentucky ball underneath. See what they've got drawn up here. They need 2 points.
Sophie Barnes to inbound. She's looking for somebody to pass it to, and it's going to be a long pass inbounds to Combs. Combs at the point. And there's a steal by Kennedy. Kennedy on the steal. Nope, jump ball opportunity.
Ball.
And who will that favor? You've got the possession arrow there.
I'm going to say Whites. Again, I'm not the licensed referee today.
Well.
Oh, you know what? I had a 50% chance. I was right.
Heads or tails, you know.
Blue will get the possession next on a jump ball.
So, with it being Premier's ball, that is a spin by Dyes.
Great spin dribble, but ill-advised pass to the middle of the court.
And gives it up to Blossom. Blossom fouled in the backcourt, and foul by Dye. So Blossom, who has made her living at the foul line here this morning, is going to go right back there. Nope. They're going to say that she, what?
That's a foul in the backcourt. We're not quite to one-on-one here.
Okay. I was still thinking in terms of first half when we had a lot of fouls. And so, it is Impact's ball. Sequoia gives it off to Kimmy. Kimmy on the drive. Kimmy with a shot. That's no good. Does not fall for Kimmy. And there's that jump ball that you were talking about. And it will remain blue ball.
Blue underneath.
So Kimmy, off of that jump ball, keeps possession for her team. And there's a shot. That is up, and that banks home for Sequoia. Sequoia has 5. The score 45-29 in favor of the Impact. Hadley French gives it off to Combs. Up top to Barnes. Barnes over to McDonald. Pass up the outside shot, drives into the paint, puts it up with the left hand. That's no good. That's rebounded by the Impact. Past the timeline. That is Kimmy.
Nice dump inside.
Underneath, that is up. That's no good, but it's rebounded by Blossom. Miss Reliable down there in the low post. Long shot by Kennedy, and that is going to be no good. And out of bounds it goes, and it's going to go back to Premier. So with the score 45-29, we are at 2:57 to go, so just under 3 minutes to play.
Nice poke out by Blossom. It'll be white ball on the sideline.
And we've got, looks like the team setting up for the next game, but we've still got a little under 3 minutes to play here. On the other end, that's Yeast.
Ooh.
Over it comes. That's a shot. That is up, and that goes home.
It's a big one. We're going to call that a 2.
For
deep corner.
Sophie Barnes. 45-31.
Yeah, that'd been a long stretch of time where Kentucky had not gotten on the scoreboard, so nice to see a ball go to the hoop for them.
That's Sequoia. Sequoia playing the point, met by Barnes. Sequoia on the drive. Sequoia is going to take it herself and have that shot blocked. There's a jump ball. It's going to go back to Kentucky Premier.
White ball.
So we've had, what, 3 jump ball situations here in the last 2 minutes?
Yep, well, it's that time of the game where the feet are moving a bit slower and you can get your hands in there and tie up a player a little bit more easily than you could in the beginning of the game.
And that is Yeast. Yeast. Spinning, being met by Kennedy. Kennedy steals it away from Yeast, and they're going to say that she got the ball away before any jump ball could be called, and so back it comes to the Impact. Down low. And outside it comes to Kimmy. Kimmy with a shot, and that shot does not fall for her, and it's rebounded by Combs.
Oh, she's got a girl deep.
Pushing the ball down the floor, and it's decided to pass up the outlet pass, and that is going to be a foul on the Impact. And that is the 6th team foul on the Impact. So we're not quite there, as you mentioned.
Good head and shoulder fake.
Underneath to McDonald. McDonald with the shot underneath the hoop, and she goes up, and she is fouled on her way up. And so Jordy McDonald, who is 3 for 5 from the line, all 3 of her points have come from the foul line, is going to go right back there.
Opportunity for Kentucky to get 2 points here and get a little bit of energy back for their squad on the floor.
First shot, long. A couple of substitutions to speak of, checking back into the ball game for the Impact. Number 12, Whitney Stafford, and number 5, Mia. Second shot for McDonald, no good. Too strong on both of those shots. And so she is 3 for 7 from the line. The Impact have the ball and a 14-point lead. Underneath the hoop it goes. And that is up, and that is no good for Sequoia. Pushing the ball down the floor. Premier on the drive. That's Barnes. Barnes with the shot. That is up, and that is no good. I'm sorry, that was French. Check that number. And there's a foul. That is going to be on number 12, Whitney Stafford. And so it will be Hadley French. No, it'll be Jordy McDonald. I'm sorry. Coming back into the ball game. And she will go ahead and shoot 2 more free throws with 1:19 to play here in this game. And Jordy McDonald's first shot is up, and that is no good. She is now 3 of 8 from the line. So McDonald having some late game foul troubles here. That shot falls for her, though. So the score, 45-32. Impact on top by 13.
Here with the minute to go, Impact calls a timeout. I imagine we're going to see our 5 out, solid out, and finish this game successfully.
45-32. I'll tell you what, it's been, I feel, Spencer, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like the score on the scoreboard doesn't indicate just how close a game it's been played.
It certainly doesn't. And you know what's really surprising is when you have a player foul out for Impact, you'd have imagined that would have really negatively affected them. But instead, turned the tables, fired them up. They became resilient, stuck together as a team, and they found a lot of success in the second half since that happened.
And each team, I tell you, if I'm a coach of either team, even if you are the coach of Premier, who looks like, for all intents and purposes, they're going to come up a little bit short in this one, I'm proud of the amount of physicality that my team has displayed today.
And these are the teams that you want to face early in a season to really, that's that gut check, that litmus test for what you need to work on. This type of team will show you, okay, we need to work on this on our press break. We need to work on this aspect of our offense. We need to work on this post defense. You want to learn this in mid-March.
Yeah. Because who knows, you might be meeting up with these guys later on down the road.
I have a pretty strong feeling that they will see each other on a court again soon.
And so,
Could be tomorrow. As 2 teams in the 5th grade division, there are playoffs tomorrow. Oh, nice and 1 here late.
For Sophie Barnes. Cuts it to an 11-point lead for the Impact. Has a chance to make it a mere 10-point lead. Sophie Barnes with that and 1. It rims out for her. Offensive rebound. That is McDonald underneath. Well, I'll tell you what, she's been making a living down in the paint, but it's stolen away by the Impact. So Barnes not able to convert that and 1. Score remains 45-34. It's an 11-point lead. And they're going to dribble it outside. They're going to try to play keep away and run this clock down, I do believe. Kimmy controlling it. Gives it off to Kennedy. Underneath it comes to Blossom. Blossom shot is up, no good. Rebounded by Yeast, and Yeast is pushed. And so T. Yeast is going to go to the line now, because that is a 1-on-1 situation. Is that the 7th team foul? That's the 8th.
That is the, we're going to call that the 10th team foul.
10th team foul. So Yeast is going to get 2 shots at this. T. Yeast, who is yet to enter the scorebooks, puts up the first shot, and that is going to go in for her. So T. Yeast makes it a 45-35 game. Yeast's second shot is going to come up a little short.
That's
and
going to
so
be out on blue.
45-35, and it will apparently remain Premier ball.
Definitely some chances here in the late moments for Kentucky to scrape back into the game.
And inbounds it comes to McDonald. McDonald having some trouble corralling that ball. Gets it finally and puts it up, and it's going to go out of bounds. I never felt like she had full control of that ball.
No, that was a lot of juggle and not a lot of shot.
Well, they're going to say it was off of the impact. All right, so it remains Premier's ball.
Under 30 seconds to go in the game. Nice finish.
By French.
Inside.
Makes it 45-37.
Oh, French with the ball again.
And gives it off to Yeast in three-point land. She's going to give it off to French. French with a shot. That is up, and that is no good. And it's rebounded there by Blossom. Blossom pushing the ball down the
7 seconds
floor.
left in the game. 6, 5, 4, 3.
And out of bounds.
2 seconds on the clock.
And there's a foul on Jordy McDonald. So not quite over yet, I guess.
2 seconds to go. Looks like the team's just going to get the ball in and
That'll be
call
that.
the game.
And there is the inbounds pass, and that will be how this one ends. Valiant effort by both squads, but it's the Impact who come out on top, 45-37. And that is how this one ends, 45-37 after a very closely played game. What a good game it was. And I tell you, Spencer, I had a lot of fun calling this one with you.
Absolutely. You know what? We might be sitting together again before we know it.
It would be my pleasure, my friend.
All right. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
And great to see both these teams out here playing a GBA tournament.
Who knows? Maybe we'll be calling these two teams this
In the
time
championship
tomorrow.
I could see it, certainly.
Absolutely. But again, the final from this one, 45-37. And we will be back with all kinds of action right here on GBA TV.